used to the mass media just yesterday. No, it's been a very long time. And today they have the mass media, they have the radio, they have the television. But today we'll be talking about the press in Boyo Division. We'll be reviewing the press with Julius Neba and somebody who is behind the press media in Boyo Division. He is one of the publishers of Boyo Voice. That is the main newspaper that you have around that area. Both of them will be reviewing the press for you.
Hello, welcome to the Northwest region. Today on Press Review, we'll be taking you to Boyo, wherein we shall look at the print media precisely. We will be looking at the history of the print media in KOM in particular, wherein by the 60s we had the Saha in KOM, we also had the Ngua KOM. But today we have a special person who is an elite of that part of the country who will be telling us more about the print media here in KOM, and that is no other than Mr. Choklovers. Welcome us. Come with us to welcome Mr. Choklovers. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Julius.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And as a son of Boyo and as a journalist, I think that we are not last in the communication map of Cameroon or in the communication map of the Northwest. The Boyo Division is holding its own share in the communication landscape.
And that is very nice to know. Minds like yours who come from the Boyo region and many others, what are the people of Boyo really in law when they come to newspapers? What do they love to be?
Yeah, the Boyo people, who are generally the people of KOM and Boom, are part of Cameroon. So they are open to the print media like all others. And specifically, they are very used to conventional newspapers, which unfortunately they don't have the opportunity to get right down in the grassroots. So the people of Boyo are falling in love with their only local community tabloid called Boyo Voice, yes. In which they share information and they have learned to be informed through it. Because Boyo Voice is most welcome in the division, especially because the paper is concerned daily or in its weekly character in reporting activities of the fund, especially traditional issues. It also takes privilege in reporting issues that concern the administration, the deeds and misdeeds of the administration in Boyo. And it is also about the people. It's also about development activities in the area, and also because Boyo is a young division, one of the newest creations of administrative unit. It is unfair share because Boyo sons and daughters are role models in journalism and in the practice of journalism around the country.
All right, that's so much that these papers, or especially Boyo Voice, has to give to the people of KOM. But we do understand that, irrespective of all these advantages, at times these newspapers do fold up. We had Saha KOM, which fold up. We had Ngua KOM, which fold up. We had the one presented by the students of the University of Yaoundé, which also fold up as far as history is concerned. Now with the Boyo Voice, what is the reason behind these papers folding up and closing up?
Yeah, Boyo Voice takes the credibility that it's been on for the past 5 years without folding up, perhaps because it is run by professionals. We would like to say that Boyo Voice is the initiative and receives consultants from corporate journalists like Charlene Dicha and myself as advisors, and probably we know how to go about it, and that's why it has been difficult to fold. Also, you know that most of the old are used to fold because they operated during the ancient period, and today they are more, the communication world is more open. And then when you lack sponsorship, I would like to say that poverty has not been very helpful in matters of print media, because you need enough and huge amount to publish regularly. And when you don't have, when you have Boyo, which is the image of the Northwest, without industries, without companies, you're bound to survive the hard way.
And now we would like you to tell us more about the human interest stories, political stories that are inside these papers.
Exactly. Like I said earlier, Boyo Voice carries human interest stories, like this story about Amina's beauty, which has returned after her cleft lip was operated upon. Amina is a young Fulani girl in the neighborhood of Fundong, who has been suffering. Whose beauty got lost because with the cleft lip, she lost her beauty. Fortunately, the medical staff of the Fundong district hospital identified her, and thanks to philanthropic activities, Dr. Thompson linked the little girl to German philanthropists in Douala, and free of charge, the Fulani girl was operated upon the lips, and she's now beautiful. Her beauty has returned, and she's back in her primary school in the Fundong neighborhood, where about her business has God made her, and as God would wish. Also, we have a recent story in Boyo Boys talking about corruption, which smells terribly in the Boyo contract tenders board. Away from that, we had politics. Naturally, you know, there are two leading parties in Boyo, the SDF and the CPDM. And recently, the boys had to carry this big story about fire in the Boyo CPDM house, especially in the Boyo 2 constituency in Bello, where militants were trading accusations among themselves about embezzling party money, about embezzling special money from the Central Committee on special events, also about the SDF, where there have been recent massive resignations from the party, especially during the 27th anniversary of President Paul Biya's accession to power.
What about the reading culture? We also know that these persons are from a rural area. They do much in farming activities and other activities. Do they read? Do they have this reading culture that would pass on all this information to them?
That is true. Reading is generally poor, not only in Boyo, but in the whole nation, in Cameroon. But what the management of Boyo Boys have been trying to do is encourage reading by taking the paper straight to the people. Because Boyo Boys is credited that it is a paper from Boyo and about the people of Boyo. It is close to them, and it's a community tabloid. And the strategy to have them read is to get the story snappy enough to be able to get to them straight the way they want it. And the strategy to sell, although you take them, they are sold in churches. Before you, they are sold like a church newsletter. You can't leave a church in Boyo without seeing a Boyo Voice. You can't go to the market square without seeing Boyo Voice. So it is available for them. It's not like conventional papers where sometimes you find difficulty in transporting them from Bamenda to Boyo to Fundong to Tingipo. The Boyo Voice is produced in Boyo and self-delivered there, so they are falling in love with it.
You've been listening to Mr. Chuck Lovers and of course watching him also on Hello, and we do thank you so much, Nene. You've got all the information about how print media and of course mass media communication is functioning here in KOM, precisely Boyo, and in the Northwest region. Stay tuned with Hello.